What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nintendo Friends, where we talk about everything gaming, but mostly Nintendo. I am your host, Hector/Del, and with me as always is my co-host and fellow gamer, Abel. How are you doing today, Abel?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great.
You saw my hair move?
Yeah, I saw your hair move.
What's up, guys?
I couldn't hold in the laugh.
It's fine. I couldn't hold it in either. But what is up, guys? We are back. How you liking the new theme song, man?
Oh, I love it. It's great.
It's great. We went through a rebrand. So that's the first thing off the docket. If you've noticed, we've changed our logo. It's kind of got like a Super Mario Odyssey feel. I feel like it's more like personal too. Like so like we needed. I felt like we needed a new theme song as well. So we did that rebrand, and I really like it. I really love it.
I think it's great, and we got a lot of positive feedback too. We had posted it or made it official not too long ago, and we got a lot of positive feedback from you guys. So it's just, I love it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's good to hear that. So, but today on the docket, we were talking. We really wanted to get in another podcast episode and start doing more of these. I know we say that like every time
every time
we do one of these, but we're in a little bit of a dry spell.
A little bit, yeah.
With Nintendo,
a little
anyway.
bit.
I mean, honestly, with PlayStation and Xbox as well. Xbox, I don't know what they're doing. It's crazy. They're like, dude, first of all, they're making their games available on PC. They're making them available on PlayStation now.
Yeah.
Like they're on Nintendo as well. Like I don't know what they're doing. They closed down a bunch. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear about this?
No, I did.
They closed down a bunch of their game develop like companies.
Right.
So they bought a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole bunch of companies, like, and fired everybody.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Like, why are you gonna like? It's weird. I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
PlayStation, it's like there's no really great exclusives. I feel like this generation there's not a lot of exclusives as much as there were on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I feel like this generation it's like mostly PlayStation 4 exclusives, but like reimagined,
right,
or remastered, because like we got Last of Us 1 remastered, and then we got like God of War, I think, got remastered as well. But like it's just like, yeah, there's not I don't know, I just don't feel like there's a lot of great exclusives. I mean, there are much more than Xbox, but and then with Nintendo, which what we're here to talk about, Nintendo, do something. No, I'm just kidding. No, so like do something. But it's like, we're at the end of the Switch's life cycle.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. It's going like we have a few things announced for the end of this year and the beginning of next year.
Right. We had that direct not too long ago, which was a good direct. It was honestly a really cool direct, but
excuse me.
These very much are like, the end of the, like, you can tell this is like, okay, we're wrapping up here. You know?
It's like we got the Mario Brotherhood game coming out, which I'm excited for, but it's like things like that. It's Metroid 4, which is great again, but it's like, I don't know, like the passion is starting to like die out. It's starting to fizzle out. And being a Nintendo, specifically like a Nintendo creator, it's kind of getting hard to come up with content. Honestly, that's not a excuse or anything. It's just reality.
Yeah.
So
current content.
We were talking about this. We were talking like we wanted to do a podcast episode. Like, and like, well, what are we gonna do about it? And it's like, well, it's kind of like hard to talk about anything.
Yeah.
And it's become kind of a problem, and it's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna? We just have to basically hold out until the Switch 2 comes out.
Right.
Again, it's gonna be at the end of the fiscal year, which is in March, I believe, of next year, and it's so weird because like we've already got Switch exclusives.
Yep.
And Switch games announced for 2025.
Yeah.
So it's like the conversation becomes like, are they going to make it like backwards compatible?
Right.
They have to, right?
I really think they're gonna.
Cause like I can't imagine like it coming out like something like Pokemon Legends Pizza coming out. Was it Legends ZA? Legends ZA. Coming out and then not being able to play that on the Switch 2.
Right.
I feel like stuff like and Metroid Prime 4 is
already announced. Especially like Metroid
but even
Prime
like
4.
Playing those games, like it looked incredible and it looked like really nice, like kind of like a Halo game almost. And I can't imagine not being able to play that
on whatever this new console
on the Switch. Yes, exactly, on the Switch too. So it's like it's we have a little longer to go.
Right.
We're halfway through the year. Well, this year anyway.
That's crazy.
I know how we were saying, like, are they gonna announce anything super big in that last direct for the holiday? I don't even remember if they did. I feel like the biggest things were announced for next year.
Yeah.
And
no, I don't think there was too many really big holiday releases.
And usually, so I was like, oh man, I started thinking about it, like, what is gonna happen? What is going on? And then I remembered there might be one more Nintendo Direct in September. Because sometimes they have it in June and September.
Right.
So there may be one more thing that they got. Like one more trick up their sleeve. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm worried and I'm kind of just befuddled a little bit.
Right.
And also with the next Switch, and this is like gonna go to our next kind of topic here. There's a lot of great handheld gaming handhelds that have come out since the Switch has been released, and even to now. You have things like the Steam Deck,
right?
You have things like the ROG Allies, the Asus ROG Allies. You have stuff like that, and then these things are performing so well, and it's become great competition. For the Switch. Like, the Switch was the only way that we can play, like, a lot of these indie games, and, like, the only way that you can play 1080p handheld and on the go.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even 1080p on the go. It's 720. But it is HD, I guess, right? So, it was the only option to play HD games on the go. Since it's come out, since its release, again, we've had things like Steam Deck, ROG Ally, stuff like that. And they are proving themselves to be really great contenders for Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're Nintendo contenders.
They're contending Nintendo.
Exactly.
I agree. And, you know, I got a chance to, I don't own a Steam Deck, but I got a chance to actually, like, play one for a little bit and, you know, check it out. And I love it. I think it's great. I think it's, I think it's really good competition for Nintendo, honestly. And the quality of it is great. The picture quality is great.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I really feel like the tides are shifting, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is kind of like the calm before, like, the crazy storm coming up. At least I hope. You know, I'm cautiously optimistic that we're gonna get some really big stuff coming up soon. But right now, we're just kind of in a little bit of a calm. Like, we're like in the eye of a hurricane right now.
We're in the transition period for sure. You know, and like I don't know. I'm just worried.
Yeah. You know, this is the first time you and I have actually, like, been a part of, like, have been fans of Nintendo while there was a new console, you know, coming out. And so this is something that, like, because, you know, from the Wii U going to the Switch, like, you were still kind of not really, you hadn't gotten back into Nintendo.
Yeah, I was still messing around with my PlayStation 4.
Right, and I was in high school at that time. I was, you know, so it's like it didn't really hit me you know, as an adult thinking about it, you know, and thinking about all these things. But like, this is the first time that we're going into like a new console, you know, kind of together and just like being a part of this. So it's you know, it's a crazy experience, but I feel like Nintendo will deliver, but right now it's just kind of like, man, what's gonna happen? You know, it's especially with all these other things coming out too, like the Steam Deck and everything. It's you know,
to speak on those handheld competitors. Sorry, they're pulling 45 to 60 frames per second battery life, like around like the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
like 3 to 5 hours. Looking great.
Yeah.
No lag and stuff like that. And
that's good.
It's and the reason I said I'm worried like 5 times already, but the reason why is because how is Nintendo going to react?
Right.
How are they going to respond? And what I mean by that is like listen, Nintendo being Nintendo and who they are, they don't always have to do the same thing that these other consoles do, right? They always had their own thing. They always had, like, they are the best at what they do separately. But the reason why I'm worried is because these handheld competitors have proven they can do it just as well as Nintendo can.
Yeah.
If not better. And so, like, are we going to... For a long time, we've accepted that even though it's not as graphically great as the other consoles, they've got handheld going for them. And also, the gameplay is great. And that it doesn't need to be, you know...
A lot of the popularity and a lot of the drive was based on their IPs.
Exactly.
You know? They had the most...
And the gameplay and, like, the actual... So, can we accept Nintendo not making great changes or drastic changes? Like, where are they gonna go? Like, let's say they come out with the next Switch, right?
Right.
And it's still a hybrid console. I can't imagine it not being. So let's say it is a hybrid console. You can take it on the go and you can dock it, put it on your TV. Are they going to still have it 720 handheld? Right. Because their competitors have already, again, and they could prove me wrong. This is this is just like a conversation that we're having, because I'm just like, am I gonna be okay with that?
Yeah.
I've accepted it for so long, like 7 to 8 years now.
Right.
That Nintendo does things different and they can do what they do, but, like, again, they're being shown out by these other companies. They're being shown out by ROG Ally. They're being shown out by Steam Deck. Playing AAA games, or playing, like, really great games like God of War, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And we're essentially stuck with Breath of the Wild being 30 frames per second, lagging.
Yeah.
Great game. Fantastic game. One of the best games of all time. But those flaws are matter.
Present.
They're starting to be very noticeable. Yeah. They're starting to be very, like, it's becoming concerning.
Yeah. Because, 7 years ago, 8 years ago,
am I in the wrong? Like, do you think this is a valid, like, concern? Or is it just like, no, just trust Nintendo, they're going to handle... Like, what do you think?
No, it's definitely a valid concern, because I really don't think it's something that Nintendo prioritizes as much as they ought to. Mm-hmm. And it's something that other game developers, do prioritize, but then also, too, like, they excel in,
Right.
And so Nintendo has always famously kind of been lacking in that area. And so it's a valid concern because, it's kind of like a bad habit, it's just like, are they gonna finally break that bad habit? Are they gonna finally kind of push themselves as a company to release something that goes beyond our expectations, in terms of that field, right? Or in terms of thinking about that, and so most people would say probably not. They'll probably just keep doing what they're doing and continue, at it, because they know that there's money to be made, right? And so, it's a valid concern as a consumer, but also as, like, just a fan of Nintendo, someone who loves their consoles and who wants to see them kind of take that next step, right? Take that initiative into...
That's because that's what we want, into the next gen.
Into the next gen, yeah, exactly.
Because, again, Nintendo is halfway through Xbox and PlayStation's next generation,
right?
And so, like, by the time that the next Nintendo console is in the middle of its life cycle, we're gonna have a PS6.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a new Xbox 4012 or whatever. I don't know. Xbox might pull out at this point. I really don't know what's going on over there, but you know what I mean. It's just, again, it's a concern of mine. And are we gonna be okay with that? At what point is it not going to be okay for Nintendo to not make these changes?
Yeah.
That's what, again, I'm not saying I'm not going to buy any more of the games if they continue to do that. Like, how long am I going to put up? How long are consumers going to put up with stuff? And then, like, my worry is that, they're going to keep doing what they're doing, the way that they're going, not going to make so much changes that the adult fan base of Nintendo starts to fall off. and then Nintendo becomes a kid console again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's for kids. Like, they don't take things seriously. You know what I mean? Like, and it's... That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want it to just be seen as, like, oh, a kid's console. Like, that's what you buy your kids for. Like, that's it. And, like, the real gamers, like, I don't like that. I don't like...
Yeah.
I love it when Nintendo came out with Breath of the Wild. I love it when they came out with Tears of the Kingdom. I love it when they came out with Mario Odyssey. And, like, brought back the adult, you know, fan base. And it's like... Not to say that there were never any, but, like, it brought back a whole bunch, you know.
Right. Well, historically, Nintendo has been, you know... For a while, they were definitely, you know... child oriented with most of their, you know, games and things like that. But you know, it wasn't really until like they got around to the Wii that they really started to be more like family oriented, like get the adults involved too and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think the Wii did
with
a great
Wii
job.
Sports with Wii.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and even though Wii Sports isn't something gritty or adult per se, it's something that adults could really have fun with.
Yeah.
And I think they've carried that over, especially into the Switch. It's really family oriented as well. But you're right, it's also adult oriented in terms of just they're getting more and more mature, with the things that they're doing. And you know, I'm trying to remember what it was that I saw, but they had released a screenshot of something, and it was like they were kind of teasing like a potential like horror.
Oh, it was Emio.
What was it? Yeah, Emio. Yeah, that.
And
that
see,
was
like, and
was.
even that. Did you find out what it was?
It wasn't what people thought it was. Right?
It was another one of those Famicom detective games.
Exactly.
Which I love. I love those little like I started getting back into visual novels, ever since we played Doki Doki together.
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club. I downloaded 2 of like the Famicom detectives games after that.
Nice.
And I've really enjoyed one of them because I don't think I only played one of them.
Right.
I really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh, I might be interested in this, but it's like everybody thought it was gonna be something like an Outlast video game or like an Amnesia.
Yeah.
But like a Nintendo made version of that.
But there was hype around it. There was excitement around it.
Yeah, like it's like when they pull stuff like that, and it's like, oh, you know, it's like I was really excited too.
I think essentially what we're just saying is Nintendo really needs to step out of their comfort zone.
Do something.
Do something, Nintendo.
That's why this episode's called Nintendo. Do something.
Just do something. But it's true, right? That, you know, just like right now we're in that calm
dry
stage
spell.
right now. We're in that dry spell. We're having that. We're in that dry season right now. But like Nintendo, like with this new console, with everything that's gonna happen, you're gonna be in a position where you can do something, you know.
Do something.
But like, you know, step out of your comfort zone, Nintendo. Make those, you know, 1080p.
I smell some Nintendo Friends merch. Do something.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But
you're absolutely right.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel that way. And so, again, your concerns are valid, but because I know they're shared concerns.
I'm just going to buy it.
We're still going to buy it, yeah.
Still going to buy it. But again, how long will I feel that way?
Right, exactly.
How long will I be like, all right, I'm out. Like, this is enough. I don't want it to come to that. That's my point. And that's our whole point, right?
Exactly.
So, but man, it's insane. Because, like, I can't imagine, like, my life anymore without... like a Nintendo console. And like, again, because this is the first time that we're in this like for the long haul, like we're paying attention, we bought the console and we're excited for the next part. And
as two adults who understand, you know, and everything.
But like even with even with Nintendo's history, they had ever since the Wii, right? It's been successful console, and then after that, flop. Wii U. Switch, successful console. I don't want it to fall into the same trap of the next one being a flop.
And even before the Wii, the GameCube was a flop.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So it was flop.
So I guess since the GameCube then.
Yeah. And I would wager to say that the N64 was kind of a flop.
You're just gonna keep going back for.
Yeah.
You know, I would even say that the NES was.
the NES, dude, it's gonna be this continual like success, not success.
You know, the Nintendo Game & Watches were. But no, that's exactly my point.
But it's a trend, you know.
Right.
It's a trend.
It's I don't want it to fall into that. I don't want them to fall into that same trap. Right. I don't want them to fall into that same trend.
Nintendo makes a big oopsie.
I want them to be the next one to be just as I can't talk today, just as successful as the Switch was.
Right, if not more.
Exactly.
And that's always possible.
Yeah, which brings me to my next point. This is the longest, I believe, the longest Nintendo console, like, that's been out. So, like, Switch has been out for 7 years.
Yeah.
Going on 8 next year. Do you think the successor will have just as successful as a lifespan? Do you think we can do this another 5 to 7 years? I feel like in my gut, maybe 4 or 5. I don't think that it'll be as long as the Switch has lasted. Just because times were really different back then. Like, even though it was only 2017, technology has advanced so much. A lot.
Like, there is so much, because you have to understand, like, these consoles, the Switch's like whole development, but the Switch was released in 2017. You got to understand that meant that it was in development around 2015, 2016.
On fading hardware still.
Exactly.
On Android technology.
Yeah, and so this is already, we're talking already like a decade ago at this point.
It's outdated, man. Like, Nintendo, do something. Step it up. Yeah, it's just,
I really but I really think Nintendo can. I really think they can step up. The concern that we have is, will they? Will they step it up? Will they go that extra mile? Will they do this? Or will they stick with the habits that they already have and kind of just
them bad habits.
Yeah, I know. And then because there's money to be made either way, And so, and people will buy regardless, but it's like, for how long? How much longer? How much longer are you and I gonna do it? That's a big question, right? If they come out with a lackluster or subpar console, how far are we gonna go before we're, just completely, not willing to give any more?
Yeah, and with the new releases and stuff like that, looking back at that Nintendo Direct.
The last one?
Yes, I have to say that I was really hyped when it came out. But when you take a second look at it, the games that they announced, like the Mario Brotherhood, right? Mario Brother...
Mario and Luigi.
Yes, Mario and Luigi. The new Mario and Luigi game.
Brotherhood.
It looks cool, but graphically it looks not that great.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really look that great. Not bad, but not really great. It looks like it's performing on outdated hardware.
Yeah. Sorry,
hardware. Yeah. Even with I think actually Metroid Prime looks great. Good.
Good.
I think it looks good. And then even with what was the other one? Pokemon Legends. They haven't really showed a lot. But like, it kind of looks iffy to me too. I feel like it's not.
But I mean, the last like 3 Pokemon games were just completely underdeveloped too.
Exactly. Look at Detective Pikachu Returns.
Yeah. Oh
my gosh. But like, I feel just in my gut right now, I don't feel like Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be as good as Legends Arceus or Arceus, whatever. I've heard it both ways. That's just how I feel in my gut. What do you think? It was such a short teaser.
Yeah, for me, it's like at this point, I feel like it's a little still. It's still a little too soon for me to make a call.
Yeah.
I'm holding out my opinion on that until we just see a little bit more, because you're right, it was a really small teaser.
Right.
We didn't really get a lot of anything from it much,
mm-hmm.
and so. I'm still kind of holding out hope that it will perform better than Arceus, and we will know in time. I'm sure we'll get that. I'm sure we'll have that understanding before the game is actually released.
Yeah.
But I would hope. My hope is that it does, and that's kind of just where I'm at right now. I feel like I still need more.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the dark, and like we're in the dark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that we don't know about, and again, that we wanted to just get on here and have that conversation about, what are we going to do until this dry spell is done. We had Mario, Paper Mario, what is it? Dowsing Your Door, and I've been having fun with that, but like I kind of fell off, you know, and even with like with NES Championship, did you hear about that game?
Yeah,
it came out.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a nice kind of couch co-op, or what is it? You know, multiplayer game, but like it doesn't seem like you can play that for hours and hours on end. It kind of just feels like you kind of one and done thing, try different challenges.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have more fun doing the challenges by myself. But like again, it's, you know, it's weird. And then we, again, just with the things that they've announced, I feel like they're stalling.
Right.
They're stalling, and it's becoming just like just wait, man. Like we got something good on the way, and I have kind of that feeling too, but it's a much smaller feeling.
Right.
A much quieter feeling. But I guess only time will tell, you know, like about where this is gonna go, and you know, what Nintendo is gonna do next. So
as long as they do something.
As long as they do something. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I mean, how do you guys feel? Do you think that do you also feel like Nintendo should maybe tell us more, and maybe not wait until, you know, March of next year? You know, do you think
the end of the fiscal year?
Exactly. And also, do you think that they can handle the competition with the new handhelds and everything like that? And do you feel like they need to make a change, drastic changes, and soon? Let us know in the comments. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. We really would appreciate it. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And thank you so much again for listening. We love you guys, and we will see you on the next one.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.